This is Garrett Fry, the Cityscape Sequence Lead for 3D Digital Map Painting, and we're taking a look at shot F101. So if we take a look at this, we're starting off on the right, and we're kind of following this train off to the left. And so the companion shot to this is F100. And if you've looked at both of these shots, you'll know that the perspective of these shots is just slightly different. And so it's not going to be something that you can just plug and play from one shot into the next. You will need to, like we talked about, you're going to be replacing this building. But when you do replace it, you're going to have to readjust the perspective on it so that it matches. The great thing is that you have this building here already. So the perspective is kind of already figured out for you. So you know where all these perspective lines are going to for this particular building. So you just need to match that. Also, the lighting is, of course, different. And so you're going to want to follow that through. So whatever you do for 100 is going to be going for 101, but the different lighting direction. Also, like with the other shot, we need to replace at least 50% of the skyline. Well, I say up to 50%. Do just enough that communicates that it is a different city now and not that you're replacing everything, okay? So you can get rid of the iconic buildings or just maybe chop off the top of that so it doesn't appear iconic anymore. But there's some other buildings here that are really quite generic that you can keep. So you can add buildings in here. You just need to be mindful of the scale. So don't put really big windows on something that's behind a building with small windows. That will really blow the scale. So whatever you are adding, depending on where it is in the shot, you'll need to have it reflected in this water down here. And so you can do a bit of a turbulate reflect, flip the matte painting down, do a little turbulate, and have it just barely being seen down there, so that it feels like it belongs there. And you can see, like this building here, you can see it really distinctly. This building here, but this building here, it starts to get just a little bit like you're not really seeing it back there. This one we don't really see at all. So depending on how far in the distance that you see it, it's like it kind of is that it's not being seen down here. So, but if you do put something right here in the foreground, we're going to need to see something down here. And like what you do down here doesn't have to be really huge. It just needs to be subtle. Some indication that your building does have a reflection and it does belong in this space. Make sure that before you jump into these shots, you download the image library. The image library consists of nearly 500 raw images. That's 2.27 gigs of buildings from 5 different cities from around the world: Sydney, Wellington, Adelaide, San Francisco, and New Orleans. So there's a huge variety of buildings to choose from. The photo reference includes buildings under all different lighting conditions and angles, so it pays off to familiarize yourself with the materials you're going to use to successfully execute these shots.